Firstly, I want to tell this gentleman that I'm not here as a Muslim woman debating with a former Muslim man, because that doesn't interest me at all. You're free to do what you want.
Okay, so answer my question. Do you support or not the idea that young girls under 18 can wear hijab in France?
Yes, I do, and I've worn it since I was 13 years old.
Out of all the population on Earth, why is it always among the Muslim women that want to wear hijab? I think this has something to do with culture. I think there must be an influence. The proof is that non-Muslim French women generally don't wear hijab. Why?
Yes, but non-Muslim French women aren't bothered by women who wear hijab. I meet a lot of them in the street, and they don't understand why some people like you create a problem around hijab.
The topic of this debate is, should women be banned from wearing hijab during sport competitions in France? Faced with 3 opponents categorically opposed to the wearing of the veil in general and in sports in particular, Lilia Bouziane intelligently and legally defended women's freedom to dress as they wish. She destroyed all the arguments of her opponents, who believe that all veiled women are under male pressure. In fact, in February 2025, the French Senate passed a bill banning the hijab in sports competitions in France. And in March, Prime Minister François Bayrou indicated that his government was working to present the bill against the veil in sports to the National Assembly as soon as possible. If adopted, the legislation would bar Muslim women who wear the hijab from competing in sports at any level. The bill has been criticized by several human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, which considers it a means of stigmatizing Muslim women and excluding them from public space. Watch the debate on this topic.
I don't understand why you want women to wear headscarves in sports. Women have been playing without them for a long time and it's never been a problem, and now you suddenly want to impose the headscarf in sports. I don't understand that.
No, what you're saying is the opposite. We don't want to impose the headscarf in sports because French law has never prohibited wearing it in sports and it's never been a problem. And now why do you want it banned?
No, why are you suddenly starting to defend it?
No, it's not suddenly. The veil has always existed in France. In fact, for many years, Muslim women were criticized for not participating into the community and not getting involved in society. Now things have changed, they're part of society, they play sports, they're in every activity, they're visible, and now it's starting to cause problems, and you start now to propose bills to block Muslim women.
No, what you are saying is not true.
Until now there was no law prohibiting Muslim women from participating in sport competitions while wearing hijab, but since Muslim women are starting to be very visible in these competitions, it becomes a problem and you want to change the law. Why this?
Mr. Majid, you heard what Lilia said. Why are you against hijab in sports?
In reality, if we're having this debate in France, it's because in France there isn't a specific problem of incompatibility between the hijab and secularism, but rather there's a cultural problem that people don't necessarily want to acknowledge. In recent years, we've had debates about the veil in schools, the veil in the workplace, and now we're having a debate about the veil in the world of sports. In fact, when you see a little girl under 10 years old wearing the veil in the street, no one says, "Oh, that's shocking, that's incompatible with secularism." But people say, "Oh, this cloth is discriminatory towards women." People say this because it is only Muslim women who wear it and not men. The hijab is a sign of guilt trip about their hair in public spaces and their seductive relationship with men. If the veil was worn by men and women in Islam, perhaps there would not be these debates. But the fact that it is a dress specific to women who hide their hair and their beauty among other things, there is no freedom and it should be banned. On my behalf, I think there is a theological and religious obligation to wear hijab, and I'm sure she knows it. The Muslim woman would be free if only she had the right to refuse this obligation. Just a small argument to conclude. For example, I like chocolate and I eat it every day, and I can potentially be free not to eat chocolate one day if I want. But she, every time she sets foot outside her house, she must be wearing hijab. And even when it is 40 degrees outside, she must wear it. So this is not freedom at all.
Before Lilia Bouziane's reaction, listen carefully to the response of this participant to the comments we just heard. He is very concerned by the fact that some people consider themselves as the ones who should define what is good and what is bad for others. Why force someone to do what they don't want and give up something they really want? Is that what freedom and living together are all about? Watch.
Raymond, you want to say something?
Someone asked why the veil didn't exist in sports before and why it exists today. The answer is because mentalities are changing and society is evolving. We always hear people saying that Muslim women are obliged to wear the veil and that they are forced to stay at home and not go out, etc. And now, when we have proof of emancipation where women go out to associate with others and play sports, which proves that she is free because she is going to play foot, it becomes a problem. Have you ever seen a dictator who allows his wife go play football? No, he doesn't exist. So, if she puts on her veil like that and goes to play football or basketball, whatever, it shouldn't be a problem because it's a sign of progress. It would be a problem if all women were forced to play wearing the veil. But if some women prefer wearing it while others don't, and we have a kind of mixture, where is the problem? Personally, I don't understand the controversy around this subject. If she wants to play football or basketball wearing her hijab because she wants to be warmer than the others, or she wants to keep her veil because it's her religion, what's the problem? It's her freedom.
Okay, thank you. Who has something more interesting to say?
I want to say something.
Okay, come on, Lilia. What do you think?
Firstly, I want to tell this gentleman that I'm not here as a Muslim woman debating with a former Muslim man, because that doesn't interest me at all. You're free to do what you want.
You are free too.
But I'm here as a French woman speaking to a French man, and what we have in common is the laws that govern our society, and the law gives everyone the freedom to dress as they wish, and everything you are saying is actually based on your own thoughts, while I'm talking about the law. That's the difference between us, and in fact, you're here to sell something, while I'm not selling anything. All of us here are governed by the French law, and there's no French law that prohibits women from wearing hijab in sports competitions. So I absolutely don't understand where the problem is. I understand that the veil bothers you. I see that you don't like it, and I'm not asking you to like it, but to respect it. And that's what all veiled women are asking for today. Respect.
I understand your point of view, and I'll even agree with you a little. I understand that, for example, a Taliban in Afghanistan who wants to force a woman to wear hijab won't do it in the same way as a man in France who wants to force a woman to wear hijab. But the reality is that there's no difference between the two men, because they are both dictators who decide for women what they should or shouldn't wear. I understand perfectly that you are talking in terms of the law, and I'm talking about culture, and cultural issues have always been a taboo, and to break a taboo, you have not to care.
Indeed, to break the taboo, we need to change our minds and allow women to wear their veils at school, in sports, and everywhere as they wish.
What you are saying is interesting, because in general, I've noticed that most people who speak out in the media to defend Islam and the veil
I'm not defending Islam and the veil, I'm defending the French law.
Okay, so answer my question. Do you support or not the idea that young girls under 18 can wear hijab in France?
Yes, I do, and I've worn it since I was 13 years old.
Yes, we've already talked about that here in another debate.
So, you think young girls of 7, 8 years old can wear the veil?
I'll answer you. Legally, there's no law in France prohibiting children aged 7 or 8 from wearing the veil. So I'm not here to say whether I'm for or against it. That doesn't interest me. And let me say, there's something that's really starting to annoy me. Every time I'm invited for a debate, people ask me questions forcing me to justify things that have absolutely nothing to do with me. I wore the veil at 13 because I had the intelligence, the thought, and I decided to wear it. When I reached 18 years old, if I had decided that wearing hijab was a bad thing, I would have taken it off because there was no one forcing me to wear it.
Out of all the population on Earth, why is it always among the Muslim women that want to wear hijab? I think this has something to do with culture. I think there must be an influence. The proof is that non-Muslim French women generally don't wear hijab. Why?
Yes, but non-Muslim French women aren't bothered by women who wear hijab. I meet a lot of them in the street, and they don't understand why some people like you create a problem around hijab. And above all, I would like to remind you that today's debate is about the hijab in sports, not the hijab in everyday life.
Yes, indeed, thank you for pointing that out. Let's stay on topic.
I have a question, but it is long.
No, please. No long questions because we haven't much time.
Okay. Normally, in a democracy, we respect the laws. For now, I'm in favor of women wearing the veil in sports because they have the right and it's a good thing. Plus, sports are a means of social mobility. It's a kind of emancipation. But let's imagine that one day there's a law prohibiting young girls to participate in sports competitions wearing hijab. So what will they do? Will they continue to play sports?
Of course, they won't be able to continue.
Does that mean the laws of the Republic are below the laws of religion?
Wow, that's the question I've been waiting for. I was beginning to wonder why I've participated in 4 debates on this panel without anyone asking that question.
Yes, I want to know because, for me, the laws of the Republic are always above the laws of God.
I'll answer simply by giving one example. In France, teachers do not have the right to wear hijab in a school. Have you ever seen a teacher breaking this law by wearing hijab in a school? Of course, the answer is no. So when did Muslims break the laws of the Republic? Never. What you're saying is just a fantasy.
So, if the law is adopted, veiled women will accept to remove their veils during competitions.
That is a mixed situation, and those women will choose either to stop playing or to play and remove their hijab. It will be a matter of choice.
And those who will decide to stop practicing sports, does that mean that they consider the laws of the Republic to be less important than the laws of religion?
No, not at all. It's rather because they respect the laws of the Republic that they're going to stop.
But why would they withdraw themselves from sport activities?
Because that's a choice.
What do you think about this debate? Why is the Islamic veil always viewed as a problem in France? Do you think their intention is to free Muslim women from male domination, as they claim? By the way, is there anything like male domination on women allowed by Islam? Please share your point of view in the comments. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum.